is Chrissy, and this is my first garden and my first garden tour video. I have wanted a garden for so long. I remember watching YouTube videos like these to help just quench that thirst when I couldn't garden because I didn't have a yard. And then I had a balcony, but you still, you can't garden everything that you want. We didn't have all that much sunlight. So the fact that now I get to do one of these is pretty wild. And honestly, in all likelihood, it's just really for me to look back on years later, remember where I came from, what I had in the garden, and just be grateful for what God has given me, because this has been such a long dream, and the fact that it's now my reality and I'm sitting in my garden, it's surreal. So this is a very realistic garden tour for a first-time gardener, for 2 people. Doesn't even feed us because I can't get all that many plants to grow. We've had ups and downs from squash vine borers to deer. We've learned along the way, and there's a lot more learning to come, but we've also had a lot of cool successes, which I'm excited to share here. So this is my first garden tour. So this is the garden. It is, let me remember, I believe 19 feet this way by 29 feet long. So a really good amount of space. Then my husband built all of the beds, and he did the perimeter beds as well. So it's 4 beds plus a perimeter bed. We're struggling with the gate a little bit. We have to still secure it in. So for now, we're just using this piece of plywood that we flip up at night so that way the deer don't get in there, because I have stories about them, and I'm currently just drying out my garbage can, so don't mind that. All right, I did actually today buy 2 peach trees. I have to figure out where I want these planted, so that's why they're not in the ground yet. But over here I have spinach, and I have Simpson lettuce, I think is what it is. It was a free seed packet from Rare Seeds or Baker's Creek, because I bought a few extra. And then we have potatoes running this way. Potatoes are a sad story. They haven't really grown, and we planted them in like July, so I think I need to reevaluate how I did that. I have a lot of soil bags laying down because I'm waiting to fill in the perimeter, but we're going to make some adjustments this season by adding a greenhouse, which that's what those boxes are. So we have to add those. So I don't want to fill in the perimeter just yet because we're actually taking some of the perimeter garden out. I have some, what is this one? This is a grape that I have yet to plant. I'm pretty sure I've had that for a few weeks now, but I mean, there's green leaves, so it's doing fine. And on this side of the garden, I have my pile of scrap wood and boxes that I use to help grow carrots, because carrots need to stay moist. So I lay those out over the carrots, and that actually did pretty well. I just have yet to move it because I might use it again. Same thing over here. I still have some spinach. It's just a little dry, so it's yellow. I got to add maybe some nitrogen to it. And then I think this is still the Simpson lettuce. I wanted these front 2 beds to be lettuce beds because I have a feeling in the fall we'll eat a lot. Over here I have a butterfly bush, which was glorious. It still kind of is, but we had swallowtails on here and other types of butterfly. It was really beautiful. And then to help with the swallowtails, I tried to plant, is this dill? I think this is dill. I don't know my herbs too well if I don't eat them a lot, but I planted this one right here so that way it would encourage the swallowtails to lay some eggs here, and then we'll have more. But none have seemed to want that one. I think we have a lot of other types of vegetation that they are fine with. I had a HelloFresh box, and it had me use some green onions, but I didn't chop up the whites of the green onion all the way. Instead, I planted it, and you can actually see this is a pretty good example right here where I stopped cutting and then it has grown. So it's really, I think green onion is so easy to grow because you can buy it from the store, chop, 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 don't cut up the root system, and then plant it and it'll grow again. I have some on the porch. I did the same thing, and more in other places. Over here is my grid of carrots. So they've grown pretty well. I have more carrots, dandelion weed, although I guess you could eat that too, but so just a lot of carrots growing. It's just a little dry. And every so often I have kale growing. I don't know where that other kale is. It might have gotten eaten. And then a mum. And the rest of this is pretty low. There's or not low, but doesn't have too much stuff. Has the occasional broccoli. That broccoli is doing really well. Is that broccoli? Yeah. Mum, broccoli, dahlias. These are radishes. I forget what the red variety is called, but I put that here, and I think these are the hailstones. And then these are the wasabis. This was another free seed from Baker's Creek. So I'm pretty sure that's what this is. I think it's, I know the first row is wasabi, but I think it's hailstone followed by, I forget what the red one is. And then my little water rain gauge, there we go. So the greenhouse is eventually going to go right here where this fence is. It's 12 feet long and the garden gate is currently 19 feet, so it's not going to take up the whole thing, but I do have to splice into it, which is why I've kind of been holding off on planting anything or like putting the soil in. I had some bags down here that it looked a lot more organized before because I was trying to kill the weeds with the bags that I had used to fill up this side. But then my husband surprised me for my birthday and got me a greenhouse off Amazon, and now we're gonna put it here. So I have to halt plans on filling in and planting here because the greenhouse is gonna go here, and we're gonna actually push this back and out a little bit. On this side we have our fig bush, which has been great. I've made some jam, and then I have 3 very sad looking blueberry bushes that have been destroyed by the deer, but it's also my fault because I didn't put them in a fenced in area, and a very sad iris right there that has gotten driven over one too many times. My seeding area, I'm gonna actually pick some things today, so I have that out. A very sad raspberry bush because I have yet to plant it. This is a native plant. I believe it is a wild thyme. I do forget though. If I have the tag, I'll try to insert that. But it's native to my area. I'm in a zone 7B, I'm pretty sure. And the bees this summer really loved it. I actually got it from the nursery because of how many bees I saw on it and the fact that it said native. So I was like, sure. And now we're back at the potato area. So that's the perimeter garden. And now I will show you the beds. This is the first bed. It's primarily tomatoes against the trellis. Then I have some cabbage in the middle that I just planted, and some very sad squash and eggplants, as well as some carrots that are growing. These ones though I sprinkled, so they're growing very close to each other. Some of them, take that tag out. Some of them are growing pretty close to each other, but we're taking it, they're growing. And again, cabbage, and cabbage. I forget what this plant is called, but it wasn't happy with me for a while because I planted it when it was super hot out and it didn't like that. And then this one's kind of funny. A single tomato, barely any leaves. I got it from the store because there were tomatoes on it and I was having some hardship with my own tomatoes. And I was like, fine, then I'll buy something with tomatoes. And it never grew. It's just, you know, because it already has the tomato on it, all the energy is going into the tomatoes instead of the leaves. But So yeah, that one's sad. I did buy some cherry tomatoes. Nothing has grown on it though. It's just growing height-wise. Here's another. These are midnight cherries. So I don't know if you can tell, but the stem, ooh, that is my hand. The stem is pretty dark, which is cool. But then this guy is showing up to work. I'm very happy with him. I believe this is Aroma, some kind of a pest tomato. And yeah, very happy. We have a spider that is protecting, I don't know if you can see that, but there is a spider web right here and it's been protecting this tomato. It's actually, I don't know if you can, ooh, freak. Ooh, I just stuck my hand in that. Okay, well, we're not gonna do that, but just believe me when I say there's a spider web, a big one, right here, and it's been protecting that guy. I do eventually want him though. These are more of the beefsteak side. I tried to separate them by type, so that way I would remember, because I have a tendency to forget. So that's a beefsteak, more beefsteak. I'm pretty sure all of these I bought because the tomatoes I grew did nothing. So I resorted to having to buy. This one has some flowers on it, but it hasn't produced anything. And then we have a time, because I have visions that this will one day get so nice and big that it will spill over this edge, and I think that will look really pretty. This eggplant, okay, actually, wait, that's what I was gonna tell you. Okay, this bed, before the fence was up, because I didn't think we needed a fence. Yeah, no, I was wrong. We're in the middle of deer country. These plants, the eggplant, that eggplant, along with so many of these tomatoes and some of my jalapenos over here, got completely obliterated by deer. I was very upset, fuming almost. There was a single leaf left on this eggplant, as well as that one too. Just one single leaf. And from that, the rest has grown. And on this one, I even have an itty bitty little eggplant growing. So while it is definitely insect ridden, probably disease ridden too, it's very small and puny looking, I have to also be glad that it has grown, because there was only one leaf when it was left, and that leaf did a lot of work, so I need to be grateful. Over here, this is the bed of struggles. It really is. I had some squash that I bought, and as you can maybe tell, I had to do some open stem surgery, as I like to call it, because I found evidence of squash vine borers. Had no idea what that was, learned the hard way this year. They are awful. They killed a lot of my stuff. This one has come back though, and that makes me really happy. I think their life cycle has, it's not in the egg laying or eating time, because it's looking really healthy. Before it was very, very sad. I don't know if it'll produce anything for me this late in the season. Today is September 5th, but we'll see. I think our last frost date is October 15th. I think it's the middle of October, could be even November 1st. I forget. I have to look, but anyways, this is my first year gardening, so I'm not really sure what to expect. This is another plant. I should really just tear this out though. It might be connected, so that's why I haven't. And this one's doing great, so I've left it alone. But that's this bed. And I tried to put the cabbage here and the carrots, because when the tomatoes eventually die and the squash eventually die, then our cold hardy plants should be able to take over. So that's kind of my idea there. This one has a little bit of cold hardy as well as more summer stuff. Another tales of woe. I over soaked the corn seeds, and I think that really made them struggle. You can see I have a few that are doing all right. They actually, I think in just this past week, they developed this head. I don't know what it's called, and I actually don't know. I'm assuming these, yeah, no, these aren't seeds, because the seeds are the kernels, but so I'm honestly not too sure. But yeah, I have 3 right here. So We'll see if it develops anything. I have one that almost has that stem string flower looking thing, and another one over there. This bed has, I think this one is broccoli. I have a Brussels sprout, but I think this bed is broccoli. And I did buy, after my squash borer issue, I did buy some seeds for, I think it's the Tromboncino squash. That one's supposed to be resistant to squash vine borers because it is in the Muscata family, and they are known to have thicker stems, which are harder for the squash vine borers to bore into. So I'm trying to grow that one, but I just planted it too late in the season, I think, and I also planted it with other things that it's competing for resources, and I put a lot of thicker sticks in the bottom of this to help with the soil consumption, so I didn't have to not plant, but put so much soil in here. So I'm thinking that I watched a video by, I think it's Ed Gardner, or I forget what his name is, but he's got this guy Jacques in there. Anyways, they were doing an experiment to see what fertilizer would make tomatoes grow the best, and they actually saw that when you have a lot of food that needs to break down, but you put that in the soil, that the roots take more time breaking things down than absorbing it, so they don't grow as well. And I watched that after I already put the sticks and things in, so I think the beds that I put sticks in, and I'm talking like thicker sticks, almost logs, I think the beds that I did that in, the roots are taking more energy trying to break that down than actually take in nutrients. So I'm thinking that's maybe why it's not doing so great, but next year it should be better. That's the idea. Anyways, I have some sage here. I don't even know if that was on my face. We're gonna see. I'm gonna keep it in regardless. And I have an itty bitty watermelon growing. It has not grown in over 2 weeks, so I mean, look at how small the leaves are though, and it's surrounded by a corn plant, so I'm definitely not expecting much results, but I saw that and that made me really happy. That was actually the first thing I grew. I was 8 years old and I grew watermelon from seed from one of the watermelons that we had eaten, and I will always remember that. This Tromboncino squash is doing a lot better. Same with this one. I think it's just not competing for as many resources because this isn't in the ground, that's just vining, and that corn is dead. I actually should just pull that up. Was it dead? Well, it wasn't going to grow, so anyways. I have a Cosmo over here, and I also have a very itty bitty tiny marigold. Both of these I grew from seed along with the corn and the squash in this bed. Nothing over there besides the carrots I grew from seed. Everything else was not. All right, here is the third bed. We're starting to get to more of my favorite. This is my favorite, and I'll explain why. But this is my second favorite. We have coneflowers here. Now, I was really sad when I first planted this because it was so beautiful, and I know the thing that you're not supposed to buy flowers that have already bloomed because then they're just going to die back. You should buy flowers that have yet to bloom. Let me face me. You should buy flowers that have yet to bloom so that way you can enjoy when the flower does bloom and the bloom is itself. So I know that, and I did buy a plant that was getting ready to bloom. But when I planted the plant, we were going through a drought. We had 90 temperatures every day for like good, probably 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. I might be exaggerating. In the 90s to hundreds. So it was very hot. It did not do well. It ended up turning very black. It looked like it was dead. I thought I wasted my money, and it was really sad because it had so much color. It had all these blooms with all these different colors, pinks, yellows, reds. It was gorgeous. And all of them died and turned black and crispy. So I snapped it off, and I think that's basically a form of pruning. even though that wasn't my intention. Oh my gosh, was my face blurry the whole time? Anyways, if it was, whatever. When I did that, a few weeks went by, and now that it's cooler, and I've been watering it because I know that helps with the microorganisms in the soil. They're still alive, so you should water your soil even if there's nothing in it. But anyways, so from snipping back those stems, I think it's allowed extra growth to occur where I've snipped them, because this looks so much more bushier. These are completely new blooms, and then of course you see I have ones that have yet to bloom, so I'm very excited about that. That one I have to snip too, but I'm very excited about that because it's hopeful for a first-time gardener that makes lots of mistakes, and it's expensive getting stuff set up. But when you have these, like, oh, I didn't know it would do that, and oh look, it's even more prolific, that's really just, it's beautiful, and it's hopeful for a first-time gardener. So that's what I did with this one too. This, I bought it after, I bought it a few weeks after, and this one that you see is the first bloom that I had. It's actually quite cute because the finches love to sit on top of these plants and just take all the seeds out. So I like watching them from the window. But I snipped back a lot of the growth. I have to do it some more, like you see here. Might be able to, oh, yep. There we go. So I'll just snip those back, and we should see growth occurring where it gets even bushier. So that's what some of this green stuff down here is. I think that's what's happening. I can't be completely certain though. Same thing, this yellow plant, I forget what it's called, and this pink plant, same variety, or same species but different variety. They died, the flowers died pretty quickly. I was pretty sad, but they've rebloomed. So this is their second bloom, and that makes me happy. These are Brussels sprouts. I have them right all in the middle. I'm getting to the good stuff last. These are my butternuts. I love butternut squash so much. I don't necessarily do the pureed, soup, but I like making a vegan mac and cheese with them. I don't use any vegan products. I prefer natural things, not the soybean oil and stuff like that. I have vegans in the family, so sorry. But what I like to do with the butternut is I like to roast it and then put cubes of it within some pasta, and then as you stir it, those cubes will slowly start to break down, and the nuttiness kind of acts like the cheese, and the stringiness from the butternut also kind of gives you that cheesy texture. So it's really nice, very healthful. I don't know about very healthy, but healthier. And then you can also add just a little bit of cheese to still get that dairy intake. But I'm excited for if these grow, because then I'll be able to do that. But if not, the tromboncino, I think that's what it's called, that I'm growing, if it does grow as well, in the summertime it acts as a zucchini, but in the wintertime it acts as a butternut. So these butternuts are not in that muscata family that I was talking about, that's squash bug resistant, squash vine borer resistant, and mildew resistant. So these aren't, but that other one is. So if these don't work out, then I'm just going to plant that one for both my zucchini and butternut needs, which I'm excited about. Over here we have parsley. I don't use this often in cooking, but this is another butterfly attractor because it's a host plant for the swallowtail. I bought some lavender. My stepmom really likes it, so I'm hoping to maybe dry some and give her some like bath bombs as a Christmas present. And then I have my pumpkin trellis. So I had this idea when I was watching Pinterest, or not watching Pinterest, when I was going through Pinterest. I wanted to grow pumpkins, and I knew that I wanted to grow something on the trellis. I didn't put the two together though, because I never thought you could grow them upward. but I saw this picture of Jack B. Little's climbing up, which is a pumpkin, climbing up a trellis, and I thought that was the most beautiful thing, and it was lightweight too, so I thought it would be perfect for the trellis, and I had to try it. So these I did grow from seed. I'm very happy about it. They are, I think this is powdery mildew. I'm not sure though, because this is my first season of gardening, but they haven't grown terribly far. The other side is much better. I'm just assuming that's just its position with sunlight. But over here you can see all the different little pumpkins growing, and it just makes me so happy. I don't know when to pick these though. I think they're about ready. I feel like the stems have to get more brown. I have to double check, but that, like, the color is looking much better. I don't know if you can tell, but the ones on top are a lot lighter, and these are getting to that typical pumpkin orange. So maybe they do have to wait a little bit longer for the stem to brown and the color to deepen. But this side, so now we're moving to the fourth bed, my favorite bed. I am so happy. These plants, this is baby boo whites. This plant really did struggle with the squash vine borer, and as you can see now we're getting into the powdery mildew, but honestly I'm okay with it because I see plants on, or not plants, but the pumpkins on here, and that's all I've wanted, so I'm fine with it. I think I'm just gonna let nature take its course. But let me see if I can find you. Okay, so down here I had to do some more open stem surgery to get the grub of the squash vine borer out. And I think, yeah, that is where I tore into it. So you can see that a little bit. I'm trying not to, I had to cut into here. I used my husband's nail kit, and I sliced it open with that, and then I took his tweezers and I pulled them out. And I did get my own, but I was in such, like, I was so mad at it that I just got the first thing that I saw, which was his nail kit. But anyways, so you can see I have some pumpkins down here and some itty bitty ones and some more here, and this is so much taller too. It's not as tall as me yet, but it still looks really pretty, so I'm happy about that. And then you can see it from the back side as well, or maybe you can't. I could before because the leaves weren't. Ooh, the little ladybug. I'm pretty sure that's a ladybug and not a Japanese beetle, but we're gonna say it's a ladybug. Hi Lisa, that's my stepmom. She's still here, but that's her favorite thing. Sorry, that's a little weird. Anyways, so this is one of my pride and joys along with the pumpkins. This is a marigold. I also have another marigold here, but I bought this one, and I have another one here that I did grow this one from seed, but it's so small. Again, I bought that one, but this one I grew from seed in my apartment before we moved into this house. I grew it on my balcony and I planted it here, and that is how big and lovely it is. There are so many blooms. I'm actually starting to save seeds from this because I want these genes for next year. Look how thick that stem is. It's almost like bark. It's so thick. It took a while to grow, but I think it was just developing its size so that way it could produce this many flowers. So I'm fine with that. I will play the waiting game if I have to. I feel like that is something I am learning as being a gardener, is there is a lot of waiting. But yeah, this is just, I was so happy when I saw this, and I love the colors and the variety in colors that this is or has. So I definitely am saving some seeds from that. I have a little baggie. And then on the back side is all of my peppers. These I did not plant from seeds. These I bought from the store. It's been a pretty expensive first year gardening. So this plant is a poblano. You can see little poblanos on the front, as well as bigger poblanos in the back. How cool is that? This plant has also, like the marigold, come on, taken a while to grow. The other fruits, or the other peppers have fruited a lot quicker. Look at that. but this one took a while. However, it is also a pretty big plant compared to these ones. So this one's a poblano, this one's a poblano, and there's some more little peppers on it. Yeah, that has more little peppers. This one has fewer, but two are bigger. And I think this one might be a poblano too, but that doesn't, I don't know. That shape is a little suspect. So I'm not quite sure. But how pretty are pepper flowers? I think that they are one of the most prettiest feminine flower. There we go. I think that's so beautiful. Something as simple as a pepper flower. But yeah, I think this is supposed to be a poblano, but I'm not really sure. This should be a bell pepper. I don't remember the color. I'm pretty sure I only got orange and yellow, and this is too small to change color. I think that's how it works. I think they grow green and then they change, just like a tomato. Here's another bell pepper, but look at that. Oh my gosh, that is insane. Hang on, get out of the way. Oh, okay, this leaf really wants to be in the video. It's ruining the bell peppers moment, but that bell pepper is as big as my hand. Let me show you with the leaf not in the way. And there's another one, and another one, and another one. So I'm very happy about that. And again, there's another bell pepper here. So we have 5. And I thought that this was a bell pepper too, and maybe it is. Hang on. But this is another pepper that I'm like, you're a little suspect. I don't really know what's going on here. Maybe I got pepperoncini. I'm not quite sure. I probably would have, because that's, I used to try to be tough. And I was like, hey Dad, look, I can eat a pepper. And it was a pepperoncini. And, you know, I'm thinking like, oh, this is so spicy, and totally not. This might also be a pepperoncini. I'm not sure. It could also be, I don't remember. I didn't keep the labels. This might also be a jalapeno plant though, but I don't know. I don't know what those ones are, so that'll be interesting. This is a banana plant. I wanted to make pickled banana peppers for sandwiches. And I actually have to pick some of these today because I finally got some pickling salt or canning salt. I have to be honest, I don't know if it's just a scam and I can use regular salt. I know that with vinegar, I'm pretty sure I can, but I just didn't want to jinx it because I'm really new to canning. So I just bought the stuff. I was a sucker. I did it just in case. And then I have 2, what are these called? 2 jalapeno plants, which are covered in peppers and jalapenos. Look at that. I have picked many peppers off of this, and it is still blooming and still producing so many peppers. I did buy this one from the store. I got it for $9 at Home Depot. It was on clearance. But I don't think I think there was only 1 jalapeno pepper on it at the time, but now there are so many. And I've been making jalapeno poppers for our friends when they come over, and those have been really big hits. So yeah, I think this I'm also going to pick today because I want to make pickled jalapenos. I tried that on nachos, which my husband and I really enjoy making nachos at home. And that was a nice brightness in the dish, so I think I'm gonna do that. Before I talked about how HelloFresh, you know, in the thing you get the green onions. Well, from Walmart I just picked up another thing of green onions. It was like $2. It came with a bunch of different heads, and I just planted the majority of this in rows. They've been doing really well. You can see I've been using a decent amount of them. It doesn't actually look like I do, but they grow back a lot. But yeah, they're getting really thick. It's like basically the size of my finger. Really nice and thick. Some of the bugs have been enjoying it. I did find a little caterpillar on that today. I think it's called an army worm. So I killed it. Oops. Hope it's not gonna be another one. See that? So they are eating it. I do have stuff to spare. Oops. Oh, wait, look at that. Do you see the... That's how I found the squash vine borers. I saw, besides the poop, I saw a little thing in it. Okay, I'm going to snip this. Hang on. And we're going to see what it is. Okay. So... This is hard. I don't know how people do this. Filming while doing something. I feel like I can't look at what I'm doing. I have to look through the camera. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was a caterpillar, and I'm pretty sure that is a army caterpillar, but I'm not quite sure. But he gone. But yeah, I have ones to spare. Oh, look at that butterfly. Hang on. Or is that a moth? I think because its wings are together, it's a butterfly. Anyways. But yeah, that's my garden.